Weather here this afternoon shouldn't play too much of a factor at Donington, it being a road course. It's 75 degrees, track temp just 70, and no wind really here. 12 miles an hour, take that back. It's out of the north. It's just no degrees. My first time reading a weather forecast, obviously. And no fog. Now, there's probably a good thing because it's England. And if you look at the skies, it looks like it wants to rain. It is mostly cloudy, and my Lord, the humidity is 93%. It's a good thing humidity doesn't translate over through the butt kickers, because by the end of this broadcast, I might look like I got out of the pool.
Well, you were telling me after running those laps, you're going to have to get some workout going for Michigan coming up, and
I'm going to be in trouble. Bud. I'm going to be in trouble at Michigan, that's for sure. All righty, qualifying's over, and what do you say as we go to the starting grid, brought to you by our good friends at the aforementioned Butt Kicker. And on the pole for tonight's Classic IndyCar Series Grand Prix of Donington for the 8th time in 18 starts in his career, it is Sage Karam. 1 minute 18.227 second lap. Alex Saunders starts outside of row 1. Ryan Otis right there behind them in row number 2. Those three cars separated by 3 measly tenths of a second on a track with 2 big old straightaways to draft on. Could be a lot of fun. George Sandman will start 4th. Chris Reagan in Little Train. Lionel Callisto in row 3. Aaron Morgan and Richie Hearn, fresh off his career best, finishing the first top 5 in Lionheart. Starting 4th, row 5 is Aaron Smith and a Candyman, Austin Morgan.
And there you see row 6, Rookie of the Year points leader, Trevor Malone. And to his outside, Jason Bossie, fellow Rookie of the Year contender. So you get to see a fun little battle as they work their way up there. David Clymer in the 13th spot with David Altman to his outside. A row of David there in there. And you got Travis Jagerliner 15th with Dean Mardi Gras Mall to his outside there in the 16th spot. Sweet 16th spot, hopefully for Dean Mall. Scott Holmes in 17th with Bruno Miranda in 18th. In the inside, row 10, in the 19th starting position goes to James Paulson with Bobby Mikes to his outside.
Moving on back to row number 11, Scott McClendon and Michael Gray, the Racing Kangaroo. Ricky Harden-the-Wall Harden and Ryan Corns in row 12. Row 13, Finney Nacuna and Marty Davis. And it's George Anzaldo and Paul Jenkins, row 14. And Tom Dreiling and Tommy Ryan in row number 15. Tom Dreiling with his series debut tonight.
We got Greg West, the admin. I like calling him that because his name's been out there and all those pros hanging out there.
He's a big
Mark
deal
Koger,
now.
I think, is in race control. He is a big deal. Sam Crow, shotgun on the field. A little pre-race motivation from David Cordy. Going through there, you see the chicane on screen right there, leading up to that long right-hander.
Let's take you through the onboard cameras here. Richie Hearn, number 70 for HyperX. Whatever you play, however you play, HyperX knows we're all gamers. Use the promo code LionHRT15 at hyperxgaming.com.
There we go, up to Alex Saunders with the Classic IndyCar Series camera. Tune in next Sunday to see the Classic IndyCar Series take on the old Phoenix layout live on the iRacing Esports Network at 2 p.m. Eastern. That beautiful camera looking out, clear track.
As we come to the green flag, and we are underway here in the Classic IndyCar Series Grand Prix of Donington. And it's Sage Karam shot out of a rocket into turn 1. Saunders goes wide outside. Ryan Otis to P2. Saunders dropped a wheel. Here comes Sandman. Here comes, is that Richie Hearn or is it his teammate? I get it mixed up. I think that's Richie Hearn's teammate. Chris Reagan sliding up through the field there in the silver and highlighted yellow car. Sandman dropped the wheel and Reagan almost ran him over. Boy, that was ugly.
And just beyond that, you had Lionel Little, Craig Callisto dropping a wheel, giving up 2 spots to Richie Hearn and Aaron Morgan, both sneaking by as they're working their way up the hill, heading up towards turn 7, I believe.
Everybody screaming uphill. This is going to be one of the fastest parts of the track here. And into the S's for the first time. They call them the S's. It's really more like a chicane. And now hard into turn 10, the Melbourne hairpin. Everybody clean so far.
And it's always fun to see, especially with this high camera angle. Look at everybody kind of accordion into the entry of that corner and then accordion back out. Oh, it's fun to see, and bringing to the best camera angles. Looking down the front stretch now. It's a battle between Sandman and Saunders, trying to snake up from behind back there.
Through Red Gate, second time. Sage Karam's already opened up a 1 second lead over Ryan Otis. Chris Reagan, George Sandman, Alex Saunders, your top 5. Then it's Aaron Morgan, Richie Hearn, Little Train, Aaron Smith, and the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow. That's your top 10. We go on board with Alex Saunders. And this is the Classic IndyCar Series on board. As we mentioned, you can tune in next Sunday for the Old Phoenix layout live on iRacing Sports Network at 2 Eastern. Watch the Classic IndyCar Series event take place. Let's check back with Ricky Hardin. Hardin the Wall, live on Twitch. It's only a matter of time until Ricky is hard in the wall. Trust me on that one. HyperX on the nose of that race car, and the number 5 for Ricky Hardin.
And the best part is Ricky's a good guy. He can take a good joke out.
He can.
He'd probably appreciate that. I mean, you'll know if he adds you on Facebook tomorrow.
I guess, yeah. I mean, he named his Twitch feed Hard in the Wall, so if he wasn't expecting me to go there, then
yeah, you know, I called him on that, and he still called me out. So, spade is spade.
Battle for third. And it's Reagan and Sandman.
Yeah, Sandman. You see, I think that off there. I mean,
oh, gonna off track.
Whoa! I caught a glimpse of it back there. Who was that?
That's going to be a problem for Aaron Smith, and that's going to be real problematic for Aaron. Managed to keep it off the wall. He is still trying to get back on the track. Aaron Smith from 9th dropped a wheel in the braking zone.
That'll do it. Right off there, trying to get it going straight. Had to get himself out of the kitty litter. Dropping himself from within the top 10 all the way back to
29th. Battle for third really heating up here. Chris Reagan is under attack. Sandman and Saunders. As they come onto the front straightaway. Look at Saunders putting the power down behind Sandman there to allow Reagan to sneak away.
And you see, you saw it right there off of that camera angle. Basically, you and I were talking about this earlier. Just the fact that you and I both enjoy just the pure sensation of just hustling a car around a certain road course. And with these Lotus 79s, kind of get that little update with the wheels and tires and stuff like that. I mean, you just kind of watch that and you see these guys are probably just having fun with it, man.
Yeah, this car is super, super fun to hustle around.
You see,
so we have seen some changes as Saunders slams it in there on Sandman and
just hustling it into that corner. I'll tell you what. Good run. Set that up perfectly, but now he's got to be on the defense from Sandman. This is one of those long straights that are kind of separated by the chicane.
Well, that's not really a passing corner either. Let me tell you, is we're on board with George Sandman.
Any corner is a passing corner. Any corner is a passing corner. Great. Let's just float that out there.
That's true. That's true. Look at Sandman really gain in on Saunders, but he loses it on corner X. Working lap 4, coming around to lap 5 here out of 51 at Donington.
Definitely not going to be a sprint out there, but I mean, from a race pace standpoint, about $1.18 on the stopwatches. So from the driver's seat, that doesn't feel like that long of a lap. You kind of are able to kind of dissect the corners a little bit easier. So it's a lot of laps, yes, but not a whole lot of mental fatigue. We go back here to a battle for the 10th spot. Looks like Bossy has it, and he is going to be under attack. That looks like by Mr. Malone. Yeah, Bossy has the spot, and you got Clymer back there, David Altman, all sorts of good cars, kind of all lumped together into a big group right there, trying to work their way around, kind of build the momentum. That's a fun corner if you can hit it just right, just because of how you can float that car through there.
Coming on down into the S's, back on the throttle, and there's Bossy trying to pull away from the rest of the cars here. Just saw Dustin Wardlow go by underneath. The Candyman's got about a 2.5 second lead on these.
Dustin was able to get around that battle and just kind of check out, but Dustin is starting to work his way up towards that next group in front of him with Little Train and Richie Hurd, Eric Morgan. So kind of that next echelon as you kind of work your way towards the podium.
On board with Richie Hurd. Riding P7, that's Aaron Morgan just in front of him. Oh, Richie's internet. Don't do it, Richie. Don't drop, Richie.
The commentator's curse does affect ISPs.
Yeah. And latency. We're going to lose Richie here. Why don't we take a look at somebody else? Maybe that's part of Richie's plan. Maybe that's part of Richie's plan, yeah. Has he ever thought about that? He's
well,
like,
look up there. You had a good battle here between Reagan and Sandman. Sandman got the good run to get in there. You see Reagan kind of fight back a little bit. Sorry to kind of interrupt. I just looked up and saw a marker sitting there. But
let's take a look at the path here. On the Global Sim Racing channel, instant replay.
Oh, got real aggressive into the chicane. Sets that up. He goes for the defensive line, but there's only so much you can do when you got Sandman going there with a big head of steam. And you see a little bit of lockup on that right front, so almost gave it back up, but good heads-up driving by both drivers.
Well, Aaron Morgan and Richie Hearn are reeling in Chris Reagan after that pass as well. Little Train and Wardlow coming as well. Whoa, Wardlow's in trouble. Dustin's sliding through on the brakes. Hang on to it, Dustin. Oh, baby, Candyman somehow hung on, but he is going to lose 5, 6, 7 spots. Wow.
He held on to it because the Candyman can. Who could save the race car? No? All right.
I was letting you finish.
The race car.
I did not want to steal your
on
thunder
the spot. That's all I remembered of the song.
Oh.
I realizing was the error in my judgment.
The Candyman can. Come on, man. How far back that dropped Dustin? Dustin Wardlow all the way down to 16th. That didn't hurt him as much as I thought it would. 9th to 16th. Let's go check on Sage. Let's see how far Sage Karam's ahead of everybody. That's our new favorite game to play at road courses. 3.1 and climbing. Actually, Ryan Otis lopped off half a lap that time. I wonder if Sage is in fuel-saving mode already. That's the one thing we didn't get a chance to talk on too much here, but we're told the fuel window is, quote, 25 plus or minus 1. Well, if you look at your butt kicker race analysis, yeah, 25 plus or minus 1. That plus or minus, it turns out, yeah, it's a big deal when the race is 51 laps.
That's, so as people ask, is one important? And it depends on the quantity and where it's at. 1 lap of fuel here, great. $1,
Oh, baby. Aaron Morgan pitching that thing sideways up the hill.
Beautiful.
Got Richie Hearn and Little Train right behind him there. Richie in the pink and white car. I mistakenly announced Richie and Chris Reagan as being in the highlighter cars earlier, but I think my paint pack on my end didn't quite update. They have run those cars before, and thankfully they decided that they no longer wanted to be. Richie trying to make a move there on Aaron Morgan. He is tucked up. It's not really the spot to do it here down into 1. He could try. Next opportunity he has probably realistically doesn't come until you get all the way up the hill.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just kind of have to follow along right here because it is kind of a quick back and forth. Similar to Donington's, I would probably say, sister track in the sister track in the country. Over there, just across the car.
James Paulson, I just saw it. We've lost a couple of cars in a massive wreck on lap number 8, and it happened in that coming out of the old hairpin. Let's see if we have a GSRC replay. It's going to be between James Paulson and Marty Davis, and here it is. Here we go. Right here, Marty Davis is parked, and James Paulson found him. Let's see if we can get a replay of Marty Davis. Oh, Marty got off into the dirt. And then I watch right here. He puts it in reverse to get out of the way, and James had already...
That's, yep.
Not a lot Marty could do there. You know, you understand his thought, which was get off the racing line. And James had already committed to trying to take the grass. And there's your first 2 casualties here at Donington. Both of those cars toast. Battle for 10th-ish. Trevor Malone's first car in line there, a little bit out in front on the line of David Clymer, David Altman, Dean Mall, Travis Yeager-Leonard. Dustin Wardlow has found his way back to the back of this line here as well. It's the Triple Ds, David, and Dean, and then a couple of road racing experts in Wardlow and Travis.
Oh, Trevor Malone.
Oh, baby, where you going, Trevor? Where you going, Trevor?
We're going somewhere. What happened? I think he got into the corner.
Trevor Malone, let's take a look. On board here, the Global Sim Racing Channel replay with Trevor Malone.
Something happened. You have to go back a little further. But it was the right-hander. The car got too much air. I bet you it was a slowdown. Because he built speed, and then he had to lift back out of it. I bet you I remember. There's a weird quirk right there. And if you hit that line just right, you get I think it's like a 0.2 of a second slowdown penalty. And I think he had to lift out of it to give those spots back or take a black flag. And well, if you're going to lift for a corner anyway, what's lifting a little bit earlier? Kind of smart heads-up driving.
I think he picked up an incident point in that as well. Dustin Wardlow got around Travis Yeager-Leonard and is starting to pick off some spots. Candyman up to 14th there. See that Dwarf's Candy Special right behind Trevor Malone. On board with the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow.
Oh, I love how that old school tactic it fires through everything. You just watch it. A little bit of wiggle up there in front of him. Still keeping that foot steady.
Boy, look at Trevor Malone's car dance around coming out of that corner. Here's the tricky one, yes. He's kind of off camber, falling away.
It's a tricky corner, but fun to get right.
Yeah.
Instant
and evil when you miss.
Oh,
That's the S's. Boy, Malone drops wheels again. Here's a passing opportunity. See if Wardlow can outbreak him. Good old-fashioned road course racing.
The candy baby. And he does it just to ruin my joke. You set me up perfectly. You said, can he do it? And I had it ready, and it just didn't happen.
Even in T-ball, they strike out sometimes, Yaz. Don't worry.
There's a childhood memory coming back.
Yeah, that one at-bat.
Yeah.
It's a short career.
I was only there for the oranges.
Well, I was there for the Capri Suns, if we're being honest.
Well, and then you meet me. You see, I probably haven't eaten too many oranges in my life.
No comment. David Clymer, by the way, has kind of pulled away from this pack. Altman and Mall have gotten away from Trevor Malone a little bit as well. And that happened while Wardlow and Malone were side by side there. Looking at David Clymer. Up in 10th spot right now. Remember David Clymer, as you and I both thought, was on his way to his first Lionheart win. The opener here in the Retro Series at Homestead, Miami. And then David and Ricky Harden got together while David was the leader and Ricky was trying to nurse around an injured race car. And boy, that was really tough to see. You felt for David, who was so good. Oh, did Ricky have problems? Uh-oh. Hard in the wall was soft off the track. Let's take a look at the hard in the wall replay.
Oh, I mean, there's several ways to take that corner. The way that Ricky chose to take is not the optimal one, as you see. Here, the slight left. You got to kind of get low down for this right. Get just enough tire over. Get your corner set up.
Okay, it's the corner we were just talking about.
Yeah, and then here you go. You go and miss it, and now you got to tire off. Then you just, yeah.
Boy, he was doing some driving. You see the tires lock up and then stabbing on the brakes there.
I mean,
counter steering.
I don't think even a Finn would have told you to take it that wide.
Ricky down to 21st, right behind Paul Jenkins. Battle for 5th on back, heating up as well. Chris Reagan, Aaron Morgan, Richie Hearn, Little Train. Back to back to back to back as they come screaming at you down the hill towards Melbourne here.
Well, you got a battle of, you just kind of have this fun little battle. It's really, you kind of have Aaron Morgan who's kind of sandwiched. He's got highlighters on both sides of him, so he's going to have some vision problems. And then just behind him, I thought they were a team car, but the cars look similar, but they're not. Glancing below, as you see, Richie Hearn, speaking of highlighters, blinking like a captain punt. Every once in a while, come on, Internet, hold it through. Okay, so but you get those color schemes that kind of show up on screen there, and a little dust kicking up too. That's, that right-hander, when a little bit of dust builds up on it, it gets trickier and trickier as the race goes on.
Slide on back to that battle we were watching earlier in the 10th spot. Clymer, Mall, Altman, Wardlow, Malone, Jaeger-Leonard. Dustin got around Trevor Malone while we were off of this. And now Dustin is all over the back of Mardi Gras.
It's a very good steady recovery for Dustin. You get off track, you make a mistake like that, and it's really easy to get inside your own head as a racer, and just try to mentally bury yourself. It takes a good person, a good strong mind to keep pushing forward, not get so bummed out, and just keep going. And if you ever meet Dustin, it's a very cheerful fella. I'm assuming it's pretty good for him to keep moving forward on that one. Speaking of moving forward, Dean Mardi Gras ball, good charge, 16th up to 12th. From the hard charger standpoint, that's about where that sets at the moment.
On board with Alex Saunders. Remember, start of this race was the exact opposite of probably what he had planned out in his mind, and since then he has pretty much had to settle in and say, okay, I'm just going to be good with third and hope that Sage and Ryan mess up their fuel strategy, because everybody got too spread out too quick as you ride on board the butt kicker on board with the Nighthawk Motorsports driver and iRacing employee, Alex Saunders.
He's fuel saving. He actually ran a quicker lap than two drivers in front of him. Now, only 3/10 versus a 3-second gap. So,
trouble! Contact! Dean Mall just got into David Altman while we were away from it. They both saved it, and now Wardlow is right there on them. Boy, let me tell you, Altman was wrecked, and then I think Dean hit him a second time and straightened him back out like, hey, I'm going to move you. Never mind, I'm sorry. Let's take a look at the Global Sim Racing Channel replay. Here we go.
Altman's bringing it into the corner. That looks clean, but they just tried to choke the momentum up. Here comes Mardi Gras trying to get a little bit of aggressive and just misjudged it. I mean, I feel like he's trying to swing it a little bit wider, but still maybe X tries and try to catch him off guard, but just the lightest of contact is all it takes.
There he goes. Hang on to it, buddy. Dropped a wheel, went dancing. Wardlow got by, so did Altman. Now Trevor Malone is getting awfully aggressive here, Yaz.
Malone. Yeah, you see why Malone is leading the Rookie of the Year standings. Just quietly working his way up through the field and keeping a nose clean on that too. With the white race car, pretty easy to see.
Oh, Wardlow in trouble. What happened to Dustin there?
Wardlow, I think, tried to cook it just a little bit too hard on exit. The car snapped loose. Yeah, he kind of rode the inside line too hard, and something in the right front decided to grip a little bit better than it should have, and it caught him off guard. Only lost the one spot back to Dean, but it's just, those little mistakes just kind of keep adding up now.
Boy, this has been the battle to watch all race long, and still not disappointing. You know who has loved this more than anybody? David Clymer and David Altman have both said, "See you, boys."
Well, they know that's further away kind of get from everything, the more destiny that you kind of have in your hands. You see these nice little gaps looking around. You think, okay, that really is sense to go nuts, but keep a steady pace so that way if there is a mistake, I'm there at least close enough to react to it and possibly gain some extra spots, because the next battle in front of all them is Kalisto, Morgan, Reagan, and Hurt. Oh, there's another battle. Woo! Malone tried to send it up the inside. Didn't quite make it stick on the exit. Easy crossover for the Candyman because the Candyman can.
And Travis Jagerleiner now trying to cross over Malone. Coming down the front straightaway here. As they call it, the Wheatcroft straight. He's not going to be able to get there down into turn one, but Jagerleiner filling up the mirrors of Malone. And out of nowhere, Scott Holmes has joined the party.
Just lurking. I mean, sometimes that's just the best way to be. If you know you don't have this pace. Oh, we got a mistake from the Dustin Wardlow, spinning out once again in that corner that got him in trouble earlier. No damage to the race car, but probably a damaged ego. And I bet you those tires aren't too happy right now either. You're going to see it here on the onboard camera looking out. Same corner that got him out earlier. Just, it was right before it. Try to get that corner as straight as possible. So you have to back up your entry as far as you can. And unfortunately, just put that tire off in the corner before. And these cars, when the grip goes away, it's like a peak.
Wardlow gets things straightened out. We're going to check in on Ryan, second place runner. And you're going to notice, if you look up on the upper left-hand side there in the GSRC timing and scoring, powered by HyperX. And Alex Saunders is starting to creep up on Ryan Otis. And it's not so much that Saunders is making up ground as it is Otis is losing ground. Saunders about the same distance back from Sage Karam as he was earlier. But Ryan Otis, with the butt kicker on board here, has backed up quite a bit. And again, that might be a save fuel strategy. Not really sure on that one.
Depend here. I mean, as we kind of see cars kind of fade out towards this run, we're kind of looking ahead here. We point the camera at this battle. Point this battle once again. Aaron Morgan, Richie Hearn. Sorry to kind of lose my thought process, but see the action happens really quick. Here goes Richie to the inside.
Morgan got into
a little bit far. Morgan was going for the crossover because he knew Richie had missed the corner, but unfortunately just didn't cut it fast enough. Got a little bit into the rear of that 70 machine. I don't think there is any damage though.
It looks like Morgan's right front wing is bent a little bit, Yaz. Just a little
now
bit.
That I see it, yeah. Maybe.
I don't know that that's not necessarily a death wish in these cars, but I do think that it'll cause him a little bit of problems.
Maybe on some of the faster, well, car makes the downforce higher speeds. Maybe the lower speed corners that could impact.
So that battle was heating up and has now kind of calmed down, and it'll give us a chance to survey the rest of the field and see what we might be missing. Everybody kind of playing nice right now. We are closing in on pit stops, or the pit stop.
We're looking at the battle here. Let's go to our driver profile. Ah, never mind. Let's stay at this battle happening on screen. This is kind of like an old campfire. It just kind of poke it every once in a while, and it riles itself back going. Got Richie Hurd lead that trade, and you see a little trade just kind of lurking back there. Starting to work itself back out, but it's not going to be long if we kind of watch the flow and ebbing of this race. I said that backwards for some reason. Whoa, Richie. Oh, Richie Proud spinning out. Aaron Morgan is in front of it. But unfortunately, Ricky was blinking, and he came back right as Aaron Morgan was going to go through him. Let's go to the replay here. Sorry, RIP headphone users. There you see it going into the corner. Car just gets loose, and then it comes back right at the worst spot. Well, Little Trade, by hanging back, he picks up 2 spots just by being there.
I'm looking at the rear chase of Aaron Morgan, Yaz, and I think you're right. Happy Ghost X Day for Aaron Morgan. I don't see any extra damage on that race.
Ghost X, it's something that never happens to me.
Yeah, ditto.
I mean, that car does look, other than that front wing that was already there, does look really good. Looks like the camera angle off the final corner for 12.
You feel for Richie, who was up inside the top 10 and had an outside shot at a second straight top 5, and he only falls back to 12, so it's not the end of the world. There's still plenty of time to rally here. We're not even to the halfway point, but that certainly didn't help him at all.
Well, I mean,
usually spinning doesn't help many people.
That
worked out one time.
Cat litter.
That worked out one time for me at Texas, and Andy Van Garen and I almost got together. Actually, I think we did get together off of turn 2. I spun at Texas, somehow hit nothing in an IndyCar spinning at 220 miles an hour at Texas. And 15 laps later, John Goke and Big Joe Hassert got together for the lead and took out half the field. And 30 laps later, I won the race. It was great. Danny Sullivan did.
Best way to be.
Literally the only time that ever happened appropriately for me, for the record. Hey, what do you say we take a look at Travis Jagerleiner right now? Travis currently running around in the 15th spot. That's right where he started, which is appropriate because George Inzaldo, the series founder, likes to call him Mr. Consistent. And right now, Travis has been Mr. Consistent. It's our Sim Experience driver profile. Travis with 53 races under his belt and 8 top 5s, still searching for that first win and first pole. 22 top 10s. His first start was the first race in series history, Homestead. Season 1, and nobody has turned more miles around a racetrack in a Lotus L79, the Lionheart Racing Series powered by HyperX. Man in the 44 car you're looking at right there. 8,184 miles coming into this one. And on a personal note, I can say my last season in the Retro Series was season 2, where I was part of the Raven Motorsports team Travis runs with and was on the championship team with Raven, and Travis is a teammate. And not only is he super cool, consistent driver, but he is a A-plus human being.
Great. See, look at that. We just tied all together. Nice little fun factoid at the end. And you would think, though, and that's what the best part about Travis kind of being that guy that has the most miles, because you would think it'd be the heavy hitters of the series or even of the league. But Travis Jagerleiner, most miles complete, in retro series history. That's just it'll win you a bar bet down somewhere.
George is going to smile ear to ear, Yaz, when you tell him that people think about Lionheart and bet on it at bar. just Just throwing that out there.
I mean, well, didn't you know we are going to get, our own online betting? I mean, there's nothing else going on in pro sports.
Well, yeah.
DraftKings will eventually get it. All right, let's go up towards the battle here with Ricky Hart on track. There we go. There, my screen caught up as well. Trying to make a little recovery here after that half spin a little earlier. Nice onboard camera. Looking over, you see that little reflection in the mirror. The Hart on the wall. On board with the one, the only Ricky Hart. Who's that in front of that car? In front of him was just dancing through the corner. That was Mr. Jenkins. Mr. Bo Jenkins. Well, here we go, working up to these double sets of rights, trying to carry that momentum up the hill. An underpowered car. You see Paul kind of taking a little bit of a defensive line, going through there, and then trying to swing it out wide. This corner always stumped me because the nature of you says take it narrow, but maybe drifting it out's the faster way, and the stopwatch, it tells sometimes working our way closer here to pit stop. Let's go back up to the front end of the field as we work closer to those pit stops. Take a look at Sage Karam, because here is going to be where we're at, of where this is at.
And this should be the lap, Yaz, yeah.
This should be, because we got 27 to go right now. Coming around will be 26.
And remember that means they've already run what will be 25 to 26 plus half a pace lap. So you got to figure you could come in on this lap and make it. It'll be interesting to see, though, if Sage does he decide to run one more just to be safe?
Maybe, or maybe
yes, he does.
Again with our fuel data.
Well, you never know. Yeah, Soup likes to point out the fuel data has been misleading more than once. So far, no takers. You guys are watching Sage Karam, and I am watching the Porsche safety car because, well, he's sitting at the front of pit lane, and I figured I could see if anybody comes in. There's your first taker. First car on pit road, boys, and a whole bunch of them are coming. George Sandman, Chris Reagan, Aaron Morgan, all coming down pit road.
Well, so now these would be the guys that are going to be real close on fuel. If you kind of think about it, trying to get to that magic number, you always want to go +1 of the magic number.
David Clymer in as well. Travis Jagerlen are in. Sandman out first. Reagan will follow. Let's check on Sage Karam. Dustin Wardlow is in. The Candyman is coming to pit road. Ryan Korn's coming to pit road. So about half the field going to pit here. The first time they came. Ricky Harden, Greg West both pit. And here comes Sage Karam, your leader onto pit road.
There it is. There's the measuring stick for it. And you see just behind him, Otis. Saunders is going to run +1.
Well, that'd be +2 if Saunders is still out.
He
plus
is.
One,
Saunders is
one
out.
Of Karam.
I wonder, because
wow.
and Otis is having to deal with a lot of traffic getting onto pit road. I wonder if Saunders is going for the over.
But I can't believe Saunders can make it. So far, Saunders is the only car to run that long. Boy, Ryan Otis
too for Ryan Otis. 10.7.
I wonder if he missed his entry, like getting into a stall. Had to be what it was.
Or if because with pit stops kind of being a bit of a random number generator, there is a box that you can go to. Maybe it ran to the far end of that. So for sure, Saunders is going to get the overtake. So
beat them all. From what I can tell, Yaz, Alex Saunders is the only car that's going to be able to go 27 laps on. Let's see. Paul Jenkins and Bobby Mikes are both in. So indeed, Alex Saunders will be the final car on the pit road. Wait, now you wonder if Alex Saunders is going to make it. And so far he is. He's on the pit lane. Will it get all the way to the end? Saunders gets to his pit stall on 27 full laps. And let's see what happens when he comes out. Remember, P3 at the start of the pit sequence. That was Sage Karam that went roaring by, and this is Alex Saunders, and he is comfortably up to P2 with that pit strategy. In fact, Ryan Otis has Saunders' teammate Greg West between the two of them now. And I'm going to say that's just about all she wrote for Alex Saunders and Ryan Otis in this race, barring Saunders making a mistake as Otis gets around Greg West, did the right thing, got out of the way. Onboard butt kicker, onboard camera here. The defending series champion, Ryan Otis. And what do you say we take a lap around Donington with the defending series champion? Welcome back to Donington Park in the Classic IndyCar Series Grand Prix of Donington. This is the Lionheart Retro Series presented by the DMLZ Racing Channel. Our good friends at Classic IndyCar Series jumped on board to sponsor this race. Remember, they got a big race coming up a week from Sunday on the iRacing Esports Network, 2 o'clock Eastern, at the Vintage Phoenix Raceway in the IR05 Classic IndyCar. Be a great show if you want to tune in on the iRacing Esports Network and watch them then. This is Sage Karam, real-life IndyCar star. He has dominated this race on lap number 31 now. 20 to go for Sage Karam as he comes around next time. And we're going to take a look at the battle for 10th spot right now. And it's David Altman with Mardi Gras, Dean Mott right behind them. And yeah, as you remember, it's been about 15 laps since these two hung out together, but last time they did, they were doing a little bit of kissing and nobody was telling.
Yeah, and you wonder if certain drivers, they got these long memory banks that they can pull from. So, you know darn well, it's kind of remembering what happened. So it might not be as, might not give as much room this next time by. Or, maybe try to cut him not as much slack. Because once you get that one shot in, you go, okay, that's how we're going to play.
He saying that you hold grudges, Brian?
Look, I'm not mad that you wrecked me 4 years ago in Atlanta in the DW12, but Abraham Lincoln told me not to hold on to internet news.
Who won that race, Brian?
Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
It was JG in there. The car had striking the same number as a celebrated athlete from yesterday.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
even!
Hang on to it, buddy.
Like, all right, tired of hearing Yazzik cry about losing to Galvin. Let me give him something to talk about. What do you see, Yaz?
You're going to see kind of what we've been seeing this whole race, especially setting up for these sets of corners. Get that nice little downhill to the right. I mean, this is a real fun part of the track until you get to about right here. Because then you got to try to get this corner right. And you see you get it off just a hair. Oh, no, this wasn't it. It was up here. I was thinking about the other corner. There we go. Back up to the double rights. Little bit of drift. Bringing it back in. Loading it
Power
back.
slide.
Power slide. But as I was saying, yesterday, the other thing that went on yesterday, it was April 15th. And to most Americans, the IRS sent them money. So hold on to that bit of irony.
That's a good point, yeah. Tax day. I filled my taxes out 6 weeks ago, so.
That's why they call me the banker, boys and girls.
Yeah, attaboy. Attaboy. Hey, let's check in on a battle we haven't really checked in on a whole much this race. Scott Holmes and our buddy Finian DeCuna. Finian in P17, Scotty up there in P16 right now. It's kind of a quiet race here for Finian, yeah, we're not used to that.
No, very strong runs to start the season for Finian. Including that very, very good battle back at Homestead. Where that race could have gone several different directions, several different drivers, but just kind of having it be there, that's the right way to be. Unfortunately, Donington is not everybody's cup of tea out there, and I know I didn't particularly care for that track. I don't know, what are your feelings on it?
Yes. I don't have to. We know. I was just thinking about poor Finian came into this race 4th in points. And I'm not sure he's going to finish this race 4th in points. Hey, there's another battle going on. Chris Reagan, the Little Train. Boy, Little Train's another driver, guys, who has been real strong to start the season, but you wouldn't know it based on the finishing results because he just seems to keep running into other people's issues.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it's nothing of his own doing. He's just the first one to get to somebody else's crash. It's really the easiest way to kind of sum up his luck so far. And if you know that name from the major series, also broadcasted here on iRacing Esports Network and the Global Sim Racing channel. And so you're kind of used to these names that generate towards the front of the series. So you see Lionel up here, and you go, oh, okay, and then something happens, and he just has these bad finishes. But easily was the hard luck award winner from last season, and probably right now, I'd probably say it's between him and David Clymer right now.
Yeah.
For that hard luck award.
Man, they're neck and neck, that's for sure. Little Train had raced up into the top 5 at Homestead, and then had that incident with Greg West near the end of the year. Again, caught in some other people's issues at Watkins Glen 2 weeks ago.
We'll see there that nice paint scheme. Riding Shotgun Motorsports, that wood grade paint scheme on Little Train. You also see it on Adam Young. Is not in attendance.
MIA tonight.
I believe he's still nursing a soldier. Oh my goodness, that's the word I'm trying to say. Adam Young. Yeah, Adam Young is not here. I'm yelling at Sean, our director behind the scenes right now. So in case you're wondering.
Yes. We're talking about Adam Young, Sean. Sean, you should make your mic hot. Talk to our friends on the other end right now. It's a good little battle here. Little Train, Reagan, Sandman, Aaron Morgan. This is about as close as you can get to throwing a blanket over 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, 35 laps in a road course race. And I got to tell you, they're coming up on Ryan Corns, and that's not going to help.
Throw one of Grandma's blankets over. Grandma always made those blankets super, super long because, you know, she made them for you handmade when you were 5, but you had to hold on to them until you were 50.
Well, she knew that you weren't going to eat your oranges, and so then you might need a little extra
She didn't make
space under the...
She didn't make mine wider.
Oh, shit, just longer? 10 full.
Yeah, we had to make a big old burrito of myself. Good old paddle there, as you see. Chris Reagan, Lionel Little Train, Kalisto, and then you have Ryan Corns almost in the wrong spot at the right time, getting off track, causing everybody to make a reaction.
Little Train,
Hang on. Come on. All right.
All
Kick
right.
save and a beauty.
Boy, I tell you what, the new tire model on this car, through a race in 3/4, has made for some great driving action here with drivers saving the car. And Little Train just ran a little wide there.
Usually how it rolls out.
And Aaron Morgan trying to pounce. Down the hill they roar. Into the corner that's bit a few drivers tonight. Little Train drifting through there. Morgan trying to put the power down. He'll chase him up the hill. The crescendo at the top of the hill in McLean's. Little Train runs wide again. Morgan's going to get by him. Little Train off. That one's going to hurt Lionel a little more. Only loses one spot. In fact, he's not really in position to lose another one. But that's going to eliminate him from this battle for the rest of the night.
Like I was talking about earlier, mistakes will compound themselves inside your mind. So you make one little mistake and you get maybe a little off kilter and you mess up your entrance to the next corner. And then you kind of mess up at the next spot, and those little things will build up to one bigger mistake. And that's kind of where you'll see someone spin out.
On ovals, yeah, as they say, cautions, breed cautions. I think on a road course, 1X's breed 1X. So we look at Travis Jaeger-Leonard and Trevor Malone.
Another thing, too, with these new tire model, maybe heating up those tires on exit, maybe not the best thing to do. As you see, right there in front of Trevor Malone lighting up on exit.
And 15th right now. 16th is Scott Holmes on the other end of the front straightaway. And boy, I tell you what, right behind Scott Holmes is your leader, Sage Karam. So Sage has already lapped up to 16th spot. Scott Holmes looking out the rear wing, and that's Sage. And it might look like Sage is a long ways away. I got a news flash for you. He's going to be ringing the doorbell here in the next lap or so.
On another, pull up Control-T on your favorite browser and look up the JAWS feed. Kind of overlay that with what you were seeing right
now. Scott Holmes having some connection gremlins here too, blinking in and out in front of Sage. I don't know about you, Brian, but when I'm leading a race, it always makes me uneasy.
I could be in 33rd, and a car blinking in front of me makes me uneasy.
Told you Sage would be there before the end of the lap, and he is just about there as they come out of the S's and down towards Melbourne. And Scott Holmes says, "Here you go, buddy."
I'll tell you what, though, there's a good little battle shape out here for the one spot. George Sandman still is hanging on to it. But Chris Reagan has been making little inroads lap after lap. And now you're watching car. They're hustling it around because just about 2 corners before that, Sandman dipped that right rear off and kicked up a whole bunch of dirt. Oh, there's a car slowing down in front of him. Stay to the side. Woo. Jim Crow. Woo. Good heads-up driving. Just pick a spot and stay there. Let others react to you.
Pick a spot, any spot.
See, leading up here towards this tight right-hander. And that's just kind of the ebb and the flow of this race. You see guys close up, they'll make a little bit of mistake, get a lot closer, and then the tires will cool off, and everybody will get back spaced out from each other.
13 laps to go here at Donington. Let's take a look at Paul Jenkins and Dustin Wardlow. These are a couple of cars who are a lap down right now going.
And really what this is just a battle for pride. You've had a rough night and you see a car that has also had a rough night. I mean, there is something to say about being the best one that kind of, you try to make the most chicken salad out of your particular chicken, you know what? See Dustin going
Wardlow
way
misses the corner. That's going to get him a slowdown as well.
Oh, and Harden
almost ran him over because of it.
Harden almost went Harden right into that right rear.
Yeah, who needs to go hard? Who needs to go hard in the wall? We can go hard in Wardlow, which is about what he did there. Watch this. Ricky's like, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, he did it. Wardlow's going to try to come get him back now.
Oh, good crossover here as well. Harden got that spot away. Here goes Wardlow getting it back as they're heading downhill, looking out the back. Oh,
Ricky, where are you going?
Buddy. Hang on to it. He's got it. Pointing it straight forward.
No, he doesn't have that,
he doesn't. Oh, he doesn't.
Oh, Ricky. Ricky Harden Gardening Service open for business, folks.
Ricky Harden has found the one place apparently in the world that you can mow grass now, as long as you're 6 feet away from somebody else.
Sage Karam, meanwhile. Things have been nice and calm around Sage tonight, and I'm sure he couldn't be any more giddy about that.
Road course, you just want that calmness.
10.5 laps to go for Sage Karam, who has been on the roll of all rolls in the iRacing world. He was the winner in the IndyCar race at Watkins Glen and Lionheart. He was the winner in the Retro race at Watkins Glen and Lionheart. He was the winner in the IndyCar Series race at Watkins Glen. And right now, he is on his way to back-to-back dubs in the Retro Series. And right in front of him, this is Jägerländer and Malone. And that's 4 positions, so that's interesting to see play out. And it looks like Sage got the benefit of the doubt from both cars there, with Travis and Trevor both said, all right, Sage, have at it. And now we'll go back to business. Alex Saunders, P2. Has about a 1.5 lead over Ryan Otis right now. Make it 2.5 seconds. And, somebody's sliding wide in front of him there. Classic IndyCar Series on board.
Absolutely looking over here. And Alex Saunders, his favorite Van Halen song is Jump, because he did, on that pit stop cycle, jump over Ryan Otis with that longer strategy. There you see him getting right out of the way. Good spot, good way to see. Saunders just very quietly, stealthily, just going about his business.
Remember how bad this race started for Alex Saunders. He slid all the way back to 5th on the opening lap and has been able to pick his way back up into P2. And we'll slide back now to Ryan Otis, and that's Finney and DeCuna in between Saunders and Otis. Ryan basically hoping for a mistake out of Alex Saunders here. If you're Ryan Otis, the time to go is right now.
You just get that little bit in front of you. You just try and sniff these grabs here and there. Otis, I mean, these guys are going to be kind of by themselves. Saunders does have Holmes to contend with just up the way, and then probably before the end of this race, they might get to that next group, but there's a large clearance right up ahead here for Saunders and for Otis, which, especially if you're trying to chase down someone that isn't, I would probably say, as much of a tactical driver as Alex Saunders. You're going to need those little bits that you can get to bring yourself back into contention. crisscross down the front stretch. Sage Care runs another purple lap. It looks like Holmes is going to stay way into the inside and give up the spot and the room for Otis. So let Otis and Saunders continue to try to close up that battle for the second spot. Let's take a look back at the 14th spot. Battle for the first car, one lap down. Got Trevor Malone hanging on in front of Travis Jagerlander. Battle of the T's. Oh, hang on to it. Trevor Malone getting that tire off. Trying to mow the grass. Down the front stretch, or down this little back stretch here, is able to get enough of a run to keep that spaced out. Here comes Travis coming back.
Travis not the type to try and really force an issue here either. So you got to imagine he's just going to ride behind Trevor Malone.
You're absolutely right. He'll just kind of hang out back there. Just hang out in your mirror and kind of see what you want to do. And if you mess up, then as Malone still trying to mow the grass out here in England. Side by side. Here comes Travis. Going into one. Yeah, just like we were talking about. The opportunist.
Yeah, you know what? The P14.
And just up in front of this, I just want to give a little shout out. Tommy Ryan, probably haven't said his name since driver intros, from 30th qualifying spot to P13.
Yeah, the Northern Tools Patriot Fire 99 cars go on board with Ricky Harden's teammate, Tommy Ryan. Unacceptable racing. Got the quietest run through the field you'll ever see, and that's Richie Hearn right in front of Tommy. That's a battle for P12 if Tommy can get there. And by the way, last time around, Tommy was 3/10 quicker than Sir Rich.
That's a good way to make up distance. Be fast the guy in front of you. Just saying.
Sage Karam, your leader, is right behind Tommy Ryan.
Sam Crow turning off on the front stretch there, trying to stay out of people's way. And he's going to try and stay. Yeah, okay. I thought he might pull back up in front of Sage just because maybe couldn't see him coming. But there you see Sage running another whistle that time. This is what he likes to do at the end of the race, just to kind of crush your spirit when you think, oh, maybe I was running as fast as him. And you go back and you watch the tail of the tape, and you realize that he is just absolutely obliterating the lap. What did he run at Watkins Glen in IndyCar on that final lap? A 124, like flat. Silence, I'm going to say yes. So let's go back to P16. Change subjects here a little bit, going from the past, going to the now. Scott Holmes in that 16th spot. We're going to be from Finian looking forward. These double rights here. Holmes taking a little bit, trying to stay very clear from that grass on entry I've been noticing. A bad experience or two with that grass will kind of want to stay just away from it. Here on board, going down to this tight right-hander. See Finney trying to make up some ground, but it looks like Scott is getting the power down on exit just a little bit better. 2-6 says these guys come around to take 6 laps to go. I'll tell you what, that battle
and
for
boy,
second
Alex
is there.
Saunders and Ryan Otis. Boy, and that came out of nowhere, but Ryan Otis has closed the gap on Alex Saunders by a half second on the last lap, and all of a sudden, when we thought Alex Saunders was smooth sailing for second place, there's a battle for P2, and it's very real with 5.5 laps to.
And I was saying, we were looking at Ryan, I said, that gap it's a Tatum. And maybe, you know, he just kind of found that spot to make his move. See the seesaw of that steering wheel coming out of the corner. Now you're in the draft range. Through the chicane, heading up towards turn 10.
Seems like Saunders got a better run than Otis there.
See, Otis is he's getting it done under braking. I really feel like and we probably commented about that last year, and that feels it's an overall strong strength of Ryan Otis is that under braking smoothness and then that transition back to the throttle. See car going way wide. That is
Sam Crow again.
Crow just good on him. Might not be the fastest one out there, but he's finishing the laps, getting that experience, and not causing any chaos along the way. Good on him. I appreciate anybody's learning.
Well, it looked like Saunders might have dropped a wheel early there, and Otis got a nice little run.
Well, and here we go back on the other side of that. Saunders is starting to stretch it back out, so I'm wondering if there was a little bit of a mistake just prior, but Saunders probably felt the heat, ran about 3/10 quicker than Otis.
I think Otis ran a little wide there, couldn't get back to the power. Saunders going to pull that back out a little bit. Let's check in on David Clymer and Mardi Gras, battle for P9. Mardi Gras all over David Clymer. Into the final corner and onto the front straight. 5 laps to go at Donington. It'll be 4 when Sage gets back to the line. Speaking of, Sage Karam, 4 to go for your race lead.
Paddle for a second.
It's heating up again. Saunders pulls away on the back half of the track.
Front.
Oh, Sage!
Getting involved with the lap car. I think he's got a big enough gap that it shouldn't affect him that much, but big time trouble.
Well, that was David Altman.
The replay, yeah.
That could have been
that one.
catastrophic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Sage will have something to say about that.
And this time by, it looks like IndyCar got out of the way.
Boy, meanwhile, Otis has reeled in Saunders on the back half of the track once again as we come to 3 laps to go. So here it is, final corner.
Yeah, the battle is there.
That was Greg West, Saunders' teammate, who got out of the way. Saunders got a better pull down the front straight into turn 1. This is where Otis seems to really reel him in. Down the hill. Otis into a bit of a power slide. And they're going to have a lap car who's going to come into play here as well. Ryan Corns in front of these two. Up the hill they come.
Corns has been getting out of the way for the cars as they get to it, so I don't see him putting up a big battle. But now that we put the commentators first.
Heavy under braking. Let's see what Corns does. So much for getting out of the way. I mean, he went wide, I guess. Otis missed the corner a little.
Oh, no. Well, Corns gave it to him under braking, and then went so wide he went out to the grass and had a little half loop. I mean, good on you, Ryan, for trying to get out of the way, but it cost him so dearly.
On board with Otis. That time around, he lost a little bit to Alex Saunders.
In case you're wondering, boys and girls, no damage to Sage Karam. His last lap up to speed ran 10th off the last lap.
Oh, Otis! Woo-hoo-hoo. Look at him working the wheel.
There's flies, there are bees in that cockpit.
Boy, Ryan Otis is trying so hard.
Come so far.
In the end, will it matter? Oh, and there's trouble in front of them. Who's that around? It's David Altman. David Altman just went around. Altman had the issues with Sage.
Tommy Ryan in there as well.
Oh, that was a battle for position. Richie Hearn and Tommy Ryan and David Altman, and they made contact. And
left front wing.
Here's Sage Karam taking the white flag with David Clymer and Dean Mall in front of them. And that's a battle for position, which makes me think that Sage is probably just going to hang out back. In fact, he was way off the throttle into that corner. Alex and Otis coming down the hill with Richie Hearn in front of them. Oh boy, and Richie blinking out in front of Saunders on the last lap with P2 battle. And so far not getting out of the way. It's going to check up Saunders big time. Richie's going to let Saunders go. He's going to let Otis go. Battle it out.
Did that mess up?
Sage down through the hairpin. Again, he's letting the lap cars kind of shake it out in front of him, so he's giving up a lot of time. Saunders trying to hold off Otis. Sage Karam coming out of the final corner, and for the second consecutive race, it is Sage Karam victorious. The Lionheart Retro Series presented by the DMLC Racing Channel. Karam wins the Classic IndyCar Series Grand Prix at Donington. Saunders holds off Otis for P2. Richie Hearn holds off Tommy Ryan for P11. That ended up being a close race at the stripe. Battle for 14th. It's Malone over Jagerlander, and we got to go all the way back. Where in the world is fourth place George Sandman? He's like on the other side of the world. Sandman's off the track in the final corner. Here's Chris Reagan. Battle for fourth. Reagan around Sandman. Reagan around Sandman, and the S is Sandman missed the corner. Down the hill for the final time in the hairpin. Sandman sent it. Reagan on the throttle. Boy, George Sandman, your championship leader when every point counts, just gave a spot away, and he is not going to get it back. Chris Reagan steals P4 on the final lap over George Sandman, and Aaron Morgan comes home 6th with Little Train 7th. Jason Fossey coming down the back straight now for P8. Here's Clymer and Mull. This is for P9. Marty Gras and Clymer going at it. And they're heading down towards the final corner.
Clymer gets out of the way. Was that a slowdown?
And
he's out of fuel. He's out of fuel.
Clymer's out of fuel.
No.
And fortunately for Clymer, it only cost him one position because Richie Hearn was a lap down in 11th. My, boy, that race, you talk about out of nowhere, the final 2 minutes, yelling and screaming, but that's exactly what we had. And what a race. Sage Karam says, I'm not out of fuel. I'm going to celebrate. Sage Karam, victorious in the Classic IndyCar Series Grand Prix at Donington. We'll hear from our race winner when we return on the iRacing Esports Network. Welcome back to the Classic IndyCar Series Grand Prix of Donington and the HyperX post-race show. The Lionheart Racing Series is powered by HyperX, and when you're trying to claw your way to the top of the podium, it pays to have an ultra-comfortable, high-quality headset that gives you the audio information that you need to grab the checkered flag. From high-performance DRAM and SSDs to outstanding microphones, accurate mice, responsive keyboards, and the legendary Cloud line of gaming headsets, HyperX makes the gaming gear you need to succeed. Casual or pro, no matter your creed, color, or culture, we're all gamers, and HyperX is always ready to game. Use the promo code LionHRT15, LionHRT15 at HyperXGaming.com. And if you don't have a pair of HyperX headphones for this next segment, fear not, because we're going to turn things over to Turn Racing. And the finishing order you see on the screen, Turn Racing, merging the gap between real and sim racing. Promo code is Lionheart10 at turnracing.com. Sage Karam, your race winner, second straight week here for Mr. Karam. And in his career now, that is 8 wins and 18 starts. I'm not great at math, but I hear that's pretty darn good. Alex Saunders comes home in second over Ryan Otis. Chris Reagan snuck into fourth on the final lap over George Sandman. Then it's Aaron Morgan. Back-to-back strong finishes for Morgan. Little Train, Lionel Kalisto comes home 7th. Jason Bossi in 8th. Mardi Gras, Dean Mull 9th. The final car in the lead lap is David Clymer in 10th.
11th to Richie Hurd, with Tommy Ryan moving up to the 12th spot. Remember, starting in the 30th spot, David Altman in the unlucky 13th spot, with Trevor Malone in 14th. Travis Jagerliner finishing just behind him in the 15th spot. 16th to Scott Holmes. 17th to Finny Buchanan. The Candyman, unfortunately, just a bad night, just where things just kept compounding for him, falling back to the 18th spot, with Bobby Mike's silent night. Really nice finish there in the side of the top 20, with 20th spot going to Paul Jacobs.
Ricky Harden, last car, 1 lap down, 21st. Greg West was 2 laps down. Ryan Corns, Tom Dreeling in his series debut finishes 24th, just ahead of George Gonzalo of the series. Sam Crow, boy, he never gave up, finished 6 laps down, but he finished the race in 26th position. Aaron Smith, Bruno Miranda, Marty Davis, James Paulson all finished out of this race after early race incidents, along with Michael Gray, Scott McClendon, and Mark Cohn was not in the race in race control. He just entered as a driver accidentally, so don't factor him in. All right, let's talk to our winner. Second consecutive week here in the Lionheart Retro Series presented by DMLC Racing Channel. And it's going to be close, but I think you're going to be the new points leader here. Sage Karam. And Sage, boy, back-to-back seemed like breezes for you here on the road course, although you had a bit of a scare there with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, it got a little close there. I don't even remember who it was. I think it was... Was it David Clymer? I don't know.
David Altman.
David Altman. Okay.
There's one of the Davids.
Yeah. I get them confused sometimes. No, but yeah, I think he kind of got confused which way I was going to go, and when I popped to the left, he kind of went left to let me go to the right. But we just kind of same place, same place, same time kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't his fault. Luckily we were able to just kind of do a little rally race in there and get her back on, and she was fine.
Back-to-back wins for you in this car on the road course. We all know that you're so strong on a road course usually, and now you've had a week. Watkins Glen, you came flying in a couple hours before the race, but now you've had a week or two here to, presumably put a little more practice in here at Donington in this car on this new tire model. What are your thoughts now that you've had some more seat time?
Yeah, I mean, I did some more practice for this race than I did at Watkins, and but it was weird. I felt better at Watkins going into the race than I did here. And I don't know, but once I got driving here through the race, I felt good, and the car just kept. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's a big moment.
Yeah, bigger moment than you realized, I think.
yeah, I didn't know I was that crossed up. That's pretty funny. But no, I've had some time now in the car, and I think I actually am enjoying this car more now with the new tire model. I think it's fitting my driving style, and I think later in the race, the car really comes to me. It really starts to slide around a lot, and I like that. When we first go out on cold tires, it's really understeery, and then once the tires start to wear, it gets loose, and that's how I like to drive it, and then it gets really, really fast. So towards the end of the race, you're able to really attack and put in some flyers, and I wanted to, I'm like a competitor and I always want to just keep going faster and faster. So I keep trying to like put in fast laps, but then again, like I want to like keep the off tracks and everything to a minimum. So it's a fine line, but I'm having fun with it.
Let me ask you: Are we still in no tires ever mode in this car on the new tire?
Yeah, I didn't take tires. I know Otis didn't take tires. I think yeah, most of the guys didn't. I was thinking I was gonna, and then it was weird. Like the first couple laps of the stint, the car was really fast, and then it fell off a little bit. And then like the last 10 laps, it really just came back to life and was really really fast. So then right then and there, I was like, all right, uncheck my tires, and I'm glad I did because it was good then on the outlap when you have the hot tires. It makes the outlap so much better. The cold tires are, it takes a good lap and a half to get them up to temp. So, yeah, I don't think you're going to be seeing a lot of tire changing this season.
Well, we appreciate your insight on that, and congratulations. Aside from the one scare there, everything worked out for you. Get another week off, and then we head off to Mosport, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Your thoughts as we head to Canada for the first time?
Yeah, it's my favorite track in the world.
Boy, that's exactly what nobody else in this
All
room wanted to hear. All right, so we're taking sponsorship proposals for anybody who wants to see if Sage can start from the back and come through the field at that. You don't like that challenge, Sage?
Wait, what was the challenge? Sorry.
I said I'm going to start taking sponsorship proposals for anybody who wants to put up a prize for you to start dead last and come through the field since it's your favorite track.
Oh, I mean, we could try, but I don't know. The guys up front like Saunders and Otis, Sandman, I mean, those guys have been on it. And, that little mistake I had there at the end, I mean, if it was a little bit worse, I wouldn't have won. They're right there in striking distance. I think it would be very, very hard for me to start in the back and come to the front.
I just thought we'd throw out a good challenge. We'll still take the proposals and we'll run them by you. But, hey, congratulations. Great run tonight, and we'll see you in 2 weeks at your
Yep, thanks, guys.
Sage Karam, your winner here tonight. Brian Yazik, you have caught up with the third place finisher and the former series champion.
Ryan, hey, I mean, you kind of had an up and down night, kind of all over, and by the end of it, you almost caught back up to second spot. So kind of tell us the journey of your night.
Well, okay. So first of all, what does it take to sponsor Sage so that he starts from
Jason
I gotta know.
and I will send you our PayPal.
GoFundMe or something.
Yeah. How many zeros are on the back end of the check there, Ryan?
Oh my gosh. He killed it. I gotta say Saunders is like the master at saving fuel. At the beginning there, if I was really pushing hard, I could kind of just keep pace with Sage. I really couldn't catch him, but at least he wasn't getting away. And then I started thinking, well, I got a little bit of a gap to third, so I'll just save on this stint so that I can push next time. And I was doing all I could to save fuel, and I was sputtering coming into the pits. And Saunders does another lap. Like, what is going on here? That guy, he's just too good at that. I need to buy him a beer or something and figure out what he's doing because he's killing it in that department. And then second stint, I eventually caught up to him and had a few little opportunities there. But, man, I was driving for all I was worth, just trying to squeak out a 10th here and there. So I think really my only opportunity to try to get around him would have been, if he made a mistake or if we got tangled up in traffic or something.
I mean, still, though, being in that spot, at least you got to be in the right spot to attack if, if those situations do kind of bring them out to you. I was noticing the race kind of started cloudy, went back to the sun, back to clouds, back to sun. I mean, was that giving you any kind of fits from the driving side of things, or do you kind of have it adjusted?
A little bit. I mean, you do feel the difference. I wasn't having to adjust braking points or anything like that, but you definitely feel it when you turn in, whether the tires are going to let you kind of get away with something or not. So it's not too bad, but to me, the bigger adjustment was as soon as I got, within about a second of Saunders, those high-speed corners really, really started getting hairy. I was having a hard time getting the car to turn. So that kind of backed me up a little bit once I got there. It took me a while to figure out how to get close without just washing out.
I mean, still able to navigate everything, especially with that aero wash from these machines. Getting it forward, getting it pointed in the right direction. Hey, I mean, still, it's a great night. They finished in third. Good points night after after Watkins Glen coming out of that.
Oh yeah, I could forget about that.
That was a good one for you. Yeah,
that was terrible.
Good to get one back in the positive column for you then, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm happy to get a solid points finish and bring it home in one piece. And I gotta say, I'm super grateful for my wonderful wife for taking care of the kiddos and getting the young one to bed while I'm out here racing and having fun. So I don't think I'd be able to do any of that if it wasn't for.
What's out here? Is your rig like in the backyard or something?
No, it's kind of in the game room off in the corner of the house.
Go.
I got to shut the door because I'm get a little too loud sometimes, and I wake up the young one.
You get loud? What?
Yeah. No.
Wow. All right. So while you find somebody to sponsor Sage starting from the rear, Yazzik and I are going to find somebody to sponsor putting a camera up in the corner of your room so we can actually see this loud Ryan Otis that nobody knows exists.
Oh, I was going to say I need there needs to be some sort of VR gloves or something so that I can make hand gestures that would show up in sim to the other drivers, because I think that might work.
We got the connections. We can make this happen, I think.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Well, hey, have yourself a great night, and we'll see you on down the road at Canadian Tire.
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks, guys.
That's Ryan Otis, and I don't know what happened to Alex Saunders, but Alex is MIA for post-race tonight, so we'll reserve that for another time this year because, well, something tells me it won't be the last time that we hear from Alex Saunders here this season. That's the Sim Experience Victory Lane, the Sim Experience AccuForce steering system's most advanced tuning features on the market. The AccuForce Direct Drive, second only to the real thing. Check out the entire Sim Experience line of products. Head on over to simexperience.com. Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight. I want to thank many sponsors that make this happen for us here. The DMLC Racing channel. If you're looking for entertaining sim racing content, no further than the DMLC Racing channel. Follow 2019 Lionheart Retro Series Drive of the Year, Mark Cohn. Hey, he just got his plaque, by the way. Great video up on his YouTube page for that. If you want to laugh, you want to cry, do a little bit of both, DMLC Racing channel on YouTube or Facebook as well. HyperX, whatever you play, however you play it, HyperX knows we're all gamers. Use the promo code LionHRT15 at hyperxgaming.com. We just talked about Sim Experience. It is second only to the real thing, simexperience.com. I'm going to go fire up my AccuForce right now. Turn some lights somewhere. Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. Remember, you can use the promo code LION2020 at thebuttkicker.com. I took advantage of that. Great deal. Want to contact any of the sponsors you see on the screen right now, head on over to LionheartRacingSeries.com. There's great links there. And you can click on 2020 sponsors to find out about them. The original music on every GSRC broadcast comes courtesy of our good friend June Lalonde. Check out the contact info on the screen. If you want the contract info, check out the contact info on your screen right now. You can probably figure out how to do it. Many thanks to those other great companies that help make these broadcasts happen as well. Lionheart Retro Series returns for round number 4, April 30th at Sage Karam's favorite track, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in Canada. GSRC and IESN going to be there to bring you all the action. We hope that you'll join Brian and I as well. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, head on over to globalsimracingchannel.com, also on Facebook, Twitter, and the Instagram. No TikTok yet. Very disappointed in that. We're going to work on that. If you're not a GSRC YouTube subscriber, make sure you head on over to GSRC on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. You can also catch replays of all of our races there. And hey, we got merchandise. GSRC merchandise stores online, gsrc.storend.com. On behalf of our crew, Brian Yazzik, the banker, Sean Ambrose, Dougie Beard, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I'm Jason Galvin. Tonight, your winner, Sage Karam in the Classic IndyCar Series Grand Prix of Donington. Until next time, remember, the only one who remembers when you come home second is your wife and your dog.